Good evening. This is Beverly John reporting from Afro Mosaic Health Guide's World Health Watch. The Journal of the American Medical Association has offered an opinion that screening a silent killer cuts the risk of stroke and death. Screening for asymptomatic atrial fibrillation in people aged 65 and over and treating it with anticoagulant medications could greatly reduce the risk of stroke and premature death, say cardiologists in the Journal of the American Medical Association. Research reveals that previously undetected asymptomatic atrial fibrillation carries a doubling of the risk of stroke and a doubling of premature death compared to age and gender-matched people without atrial fibrillation. There's also good evidence that treating asymptomatic atrial fibrillation with the oral anticoagulant drug warfarin or the newer oral anticoagulants can almost completely reverse the increased risk of stroke and partially reverse the increased risk of associated death. Other health information of interest in World Health Watch today is that high body mass index, smoking, and soda consumption could accelerate aging. A recent study has reported that the abundance of several proteins found in the blood could accurately predict lifestyle factors that affect biological aging. Additionally, clinical trials and research is now studying the question of whether there's a link between anemia and mild cognitive impairment. A new study reported in the Journal of Alzheimer's Disease has found an association between anemia and mild cognitive impairment. Based on previous evidence of the association between anemia and cognitive impairment, a group of researchers from the University of Duisburg-Essen, Germany, have designed a study to further investigate this association. And finally, in World Health Watch today, the Brazilian Health Ministry has confirmed a link between a mosquito-borne virus from Africa, Zika Fever, and a high incidence of birth defects. The fever is said to be behind a spike in the cases of microencephalitis, which is an inflammation of the brain contracted in the first months of pregnancy. Brazil has recorded 2 adult deaths and 739 cases of the disease, which can stunt the growth of the fetus's head. The minister said doctors had found Zika virus in the blood and tissue of a baby with microencephalitis. It said it was also the first time in the world that adult deaths from Zika virus had been registered. Zika is transmitted by the Aedes aegypti mosquito, also known to carry the yellow fever, dengue, and chikungunya viruses. Jamaica's health minister says there has been no case of the Zika virus in Jamaica, although cases have been detected in the Caribbean. Last week, a new study suggested chikungunya, more popularly known as CHIKV, may lead to severe brain infection and even death in infants and people over age 65. The study reviewed a chikungunya outbreak on Reunion Island off the coast of Madagascar in 2005-2006. Researchers examined whether people with neurological symptoms at the onset of CHIKV were still affected 3 years later. Jamaica was hit hard by a chikungunya outbreak last year with several deaths linked. This is Beverly John reporting on behalf of Afro Mosaic Health Guide World Health Watch.